everybody, Bob back here with my playthrough of Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta. Speaking of jobs, in our last episode, we got the water crystal shards, so that means we're going to have a new job open for us. In this case, it's going to be the Red Mage. Red Mage can use some like medium armor, swords, and level 1 through 3 white and black magic. It's going to take a lot of ability points to master. The first 3 is going to learn, white and black, red magic 1, red magic 2, red magic 3, which is white and black magics of those levels. And then the 4th ability that makes them really hard to master is dual cast, where they can cast 2 spells a turn. That costs 999 ability points to master, so we're going to try to keep as many people in Red Mage as possible to just master that job up. So, one good thing about the Red Mage is they can use both staffs and rods, because they're kind of like black mages. They can use rods, and white mages can use staffs. So we'll be able to put to use that healing staff that we got in Castle Tycoon. So, and these guys tell us that a wounded soldier from Karnak came from the meteor up to the north. Let's get a clue of where we need to go next. So, can't believe the water crystal shattered. There's room for treasure. Okay, that guy says the same thing. And we'll go talk with that soldier in a little bit, but let's go talk to the king first. King was attacked by Gorilla. He was resting in his room. Everybody knows rest recovers, heals everything, so. Please hear the king's request. Princess Lenna, you have to hear you. Why don't you return to Tycoon? Surely they must all be worried. So you were correct, Karf. King Wars, are you alright? Please hurry to Karnak. They are also using a machine to amplify the crystal's power. It appears a meteor is also falling in Karnak. There's no time to waste. Cough, cough. Karnak, though, we can't fly there, so we're going to have to take a warp using that meteor. So if a soldier warped from Karnak to Warris, well, then we should be able to warp from Warris to Karnak. So we're going to try that, but let's go talk with that soldier in the soldier's barracks. So we're down here, and you can tell what soldier that is, because he's like in a lighter blue armor, like a greenish tint. Let's talk with him. As I was investigating inside a meteor that fell by Karnak, I fell unconscious. I found myself in a meteor around some tower. And that was the old water tower. Hey you, where am I? Where the heck's my castle? So that's our little clue. Let's head on to that meteorite that crashed by the water tower. Or the former water tower, because now it's gone. It sank down to the ground. So it's going to be an underwater dungeon later on in the game. Gonna have to find some way to go underwater. Hop on our Hiryu and head to the meteor. First, we'll head up to Carwin here, because now that we can use level 2 black and white magic, we're gonna pick up the spells that we didn't pick up earlier in Carwin here. So let's go grab them. We couldn't use them earlier, so there's no use in spending money to buy them. So. And we can buy the sleep spell, black magic, and the mute and armor spell. Armor will be really good. Basically that like doubles your defense against physical attacks. Let's just talk with these people who told us about the Hiryu. It was amazing, but it looks like what my husband was saying was true. Yeah. And then let's talk with this one last person up here. See, just like I said. So you were right. Congratulations. So you helped us all out, and maybe you'll help the world out because of that. All right. Now we're just gonna hop back on our Hiryu, and we'll go to that meteorite. The mages can't use the heavier gear like this iron and stuff, so we're just gonna sell that. The next town we're going to go to will have some equipment that we can buy for the Red Mages. So that's what we'll just max them out there. So, of course, it's going to cost a lot of money, so we're going to do some grinding. You don't really need to do any grinding, but since I'm going for 100%, there's a dungeon where there's a time limit. And in order to get all the treasures in that dungeon, we're going to want to be strong enough to beat the enemies real quickly so that we can get all the treasure. So I usually do some level grind around this if you looked at my old previous 4-job Fiestas, but that'll be okay because that level grinding will help me, whatchamacallit, will help me, gain some ability points and the money I need to, outfit all my mages. So, Faris will have the healing staff that basically casts a Cure 2 spell in battle, to whoever it hits, so we'll be targeting, she'll be targeting, Host Elf and her allies. And, Lenna has the Ice Rod. That'll make her ice spells more effective. And then Galuf will eventually get a rod for him, and then we'll put him in the back row. We can get rods, the elemental rods available in the next town, or if you were lucky and got one from those Rickard mages, you can use it, they would have got the flame rod, you give it to Galuf now. The ones that are in the back row that will have the rods, since they'll be using magic, we'll put them in the back row to help their defense. But so Galuf is going to be using a sword, he doesn't have a rod yet, we'll keep him in the front row, and that's why I switched around some of the equipment. I gave him the defensive equipment so that he has the highest defense, because, like I said, you damages half when you're in the back row. So let's head on into this meteorite, and if we step into this portal here, we'll notice that Angels gets teleported away somewhere. Angels, was he warped? Let's follow him. He's gonna jump on in. There goes Faris. And last but not least, Galuf. This place, I recognize it, and the soldier in the tower knew me too. Who the heck am I? We will learn that eventually. But this mystery is gonna slowly be solved. Now we're gonna see something here real quick. Remember when there's that forest where there was those rocks? Now there's only 2. Basically, those rocks symbolize how many crystals are left. So there used to be 3 rocks there. After we rode by it on the ship with that was pulled by Sildra. There were 3 rocks there, but the one in the lower right was disappeared now because the water crystal is broken. So we gotta try to find the fire crystal now here to try to stop it from breaking. Got some new enemies here, so see what that thing does. It doesn't deal damage, it heals. Now it'll deal damage, of course, if you target like an undead enemy that is, takes damage from cure spells, but for the most part we'll just be targeting ourselves. Like I said, that's a Cure 2 spell, which is the second best Cure spell in the game. It goes with the Cure 3 in this game. So we'll get a lot of use out of that rod, that staff, I mean, the healing staff. These grass turtles are weak to ice, and they always drop turtle shells, which is an item that you chemists can use in their mixture to make potions and stuff. But since we can't have the access to that class, basically all these turtle shells and items that are used in chemistry mixtures, that'll just be stuff that we can sell for extra gold. So maybe we can fight a bunch of these guys when we're grinding for those money and get some extra money. So I'll probably grind maybe to like level 15. So then the next dungeon after that, you're probably getting like 2 levels. You don't want to go into a level like minus, you don't want to get into, build a level of like minus a number divided by 5, because in a few dungeons there'll be a monster that casts a spell called level 5 Death, and if your level is a multiple of 5, it's instant defeat. So if everybody's like level 15 or level 20, then it'll just knock out your whole party, give you a party wipe. So if we get to level 15, by the time we get to that dungeon, we'll probably be like level 17 or 18, so we won't have to worry about going into thing. Well, if we like grind up to say level 18, by the time we got to that dungeon, we'd be around level 20, and we'd be susceptible to that level 5 death. So that's a good blue magic spell to learn, because enemies are also the same way. Like if an enemy is, even if it's a boss, has a level divisible by one of the numbers that the level question mark spells uses, they'll take the effect of that spell. So If a boss has a level of multiple of 5, level 5 death will work on them. If they have a multiple of 2, the level 2 old spell will work. If they have a multiple of 3, like a level 3 flare spell will work. So as long as you know the levels of enemies, you can deal some good damage to them with those or effects based on those level spells. This guy's a tough enemy here. Has a lot of hit points. Reminded of them in Final Fantasy IV, but luckily when you fight him in Final Fantasy IV, your character Cecil has the sword that has instant death, and these guys are very susceptible to instant death. Not susceptible to any earth magic because they're flyers, so he's gonna have to deal with a whole bunch of magics to knock them out. So yeah, they're not weak to anything, unfortunately, like those knacks that we ran into. So we just want to, for the most part, we'll cast the spell that might be being boosted by our characters. So like Lenna will cast ice spells. If we got a flame rod, which is one of the purchases we're going to want to get for Galuf, then they'll be targeted by the fire spells. Like I said, we're going to eventually move Galuf to the back row once he gets a new rod to boost some of his elements. And rods will be available in the next town. And we got lucky that we got an elixir drop. There are two. They're going to be really important later on in the game. There's a certain enemy that gives you a lot of ability points, but you can only defeat them by throwing elixirs at them. So we're going to save as many elixirs as we can. No man to the castle, go home. So, elixirs are kind of a waste at this point in the game anyway, because you don't have a lot of hit points, so you just heal yourself with potions, and you don't have a lot of MP either, or magic points, so you can just heal your magic points with regular ethers, so those things are good for the, in the end game when you have a whole bunch of hit points, a whole bunch of magic points. People in the ancient library started telling us not to use the crystal's power. They were so persistent that the queen had a wall built to stop anyone from going to or coming from the ancient library. And a lot of these shops are going to be locked, and we'll find out why. A man named Sid is the one who created the crystals to amplify the machines to amplify the crystal's power. Isn't that great? I think that's what he said. My attention was pulled away a little bit there for a little bit. I'm a rat. I don't have a good attention span. There's always new things to sniff and stuff, so we can't enter the castle. The monster's coming from the meteor after the castle's crystal. That's why the guards kept us away. The ancient library south of here. That's where Dr. Sid is from. We got these fires that we can't get past, which stinks because there's a free fire rod up to the upper left. But we'll have to wait until these things are extinguished. So this guy tells us about a monster called the Crew Dust, and if they're by themselves, they'll cast the Flash spell, which is that spell that blinds everyone. Blue magic spell, so it's a good way to learn that, but basically what we should do is try to avoid having that monster by itself so we don't get blinded by its Flash spell. Let's head into the tavern, talk with the folks here. Is the werewolf that came out of the meteor really a bad guy? Have you heard there's a rumor going around Dr. Sid is locked up in jail? I'm an adventurer from Jackhole, but the road to the ancient library to the south has been blocked, so I can't go home. The weapons and armor sold in Jackhole are really strong. I am in love with fire. Well, I guess he's in the right town. I saw a weird guy being captured by the soldiers. The werewolf? Dr. Sid? Let's play the piano here, our third piano. There's 8 in total, but it'll be a long time until we get all 8 of them. So, what my brother Spartacus is barking at? Probably my sister. He don't like my sister Guinevere much, because Guinevere is very crazy. She runs around all the time. That's why she didn't want to sit around and play video games. That's why I had to do this Fiesta. We can make weapons and armor easy thanks to the crystal, so the town's weapons and armor are amazingly inexpensive. Now here in the weapon and armor shop, we can buy 1 weapon or 1 piece of armor before we get arrested. So we're going to buy the Mithril Sword. That's pretty the most expensive thing that we can actually use. So let's grab one of them. And we are instantly arrested once we buy this. It's them, huh? You must be here with the monsters. That's how you came out of the meteor. Yeah, remember we came out of the meteor, and apparently that's where that werewolf came from, so they think that we're bad guys. And we end up getting thrown in jail. And there's somebody else in jail, not with us, but in the cell next to us. So, oh well. Let's give that mithril sword set. We bought it there, so we'll be able to buy mithril equipment once you get out of the jail here. But we're going to have to wait until the next episode to deal with that. So come back next episode and see how we get out of jail. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.